Coming up, we've got Lily Allen and we've got Harrison Holmes. Stay with us.
This is BBC Radio 2.
On BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at midday. This is Francis Reid. The British Retail Consortium has said that government plans for supermarkets to introduce a voluntary price cap on some basic food items won't make a jot of difference, while other costs remain high. Ministers will discuss the agreement with major retailers as part of efforts to tackle the rising cost of living. Speaking on Sunday with Laura Koonsberg, Siobhan Haviland from the British Chamber of Commerce backed the plans, but warned smaller businesses could suffer as a result.
We estimate probably about 20 to 25% input inflation, with 10% output inflation, so they are absorbing a huge amount of costs. No one's profiteering. We have to bear in mind that there are smaller retailers for whom this will be even harder from a margin point of view, so we just need to make sure they're all taken into account.
The Health Secretary, Steve Barclay, has acknowledged some of the 40 new hospitals promised by the government will be refurbished sites rather than built from scratch. Mr Barclay also confirmed for the first time that not all of the work would be completed by the 2030 deadline. At least one person has been killed in the latest Russian drone attack on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Ukraine's Air Force said a total of 54 drones were launched, all but 2 of which were shot down. Our correspondent in Kyiv, James Lansdale, says attacks from both sides are increasing.
This is now, we think, the 14th strike against the capital since the month began, and so that's pretty much one every other day. So we are seeing an increase in Russian attacks, just as we're seeing, I think, an uptick in Ukrainian attacks ahead of what people are long expecting, Ukraine's future counteroffensive.
2 Just Stop Oil protesters who interrupted yesterday's rugby premiership final at Twickenham have been charged with aggravated trespass. Samuel Johnson, who's 40, and 37-year-old Patrick Hart threw orange powder onto the pitch, which briefly brought the game to a halt. They'll appear at Wimbledon magistrates tomorrow. 4 MPs have been told to repay hundreds of pounds after claiming driving fines on their expenses. The government minister, Amanda Soloway, 2 Tory MPs and an SNP MP put through the claims. The Independent Parliamentary Standard Authority said its checks had failed in some cases and it had wrongly covered penalty charges and fines. The French murder mystery Anatomy of a Fall has won this year's Palme d'Or award at the Cannes Film Festival. Its director, Justine Triet, is the 3rd woman to have won the prestigious prize. The film tells the story of the trial of a widow accused of murdering her husband. The film critic, Sandro Monetti, said the win could translate into award success.
With this win, it really puts her as a front runner for upcoming awards, including the Oscars. We saw how the likes of Parasite did so well, and also Triangle of Sadness last year, taking their Palme d'Or success all the way to the Oscars. And so, in a can full of stars, I think a new star may have been born here with this director.
BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 12.
It's not a rom-com though, is it? Thank you, Francis.
This is
Radio 2.
Michael Ball.